Hello, and welcome to another horrific review. I'm joined again by Chris as we continue our journey along the Graboid Trail. Tonight we're discussing Project 412 and Ghost Dance from the Tremors TV series. Created in 2003, the show picks up from where Tremors 3 left off. It follows the people of perfection as they attempt to coexist with the Graboid, El Blanco. Welcome back, Chris.
Thank you for
Great
having
to have
me.
us again.
Yeah.
God, I
Yeah.
feel like I've
Looking
moved
forward to
in.
this.
I feel like I'm permanently attached. See this last weekend, I'm just like tied to this webcam and can't get away from it.
Yeah. Watching these Tremor shows, I like to say is relaxing like fishing, except instead of putting a worm on a hook, we are hooked on a worm. Patent pending. I'm gonna
Brilliant.
patent that.
And funny enough, it gets mentioned in this first one as your worm, not talking about your worm.
Yeah, I'm not talking about your worm.
Oh man. This is such a fun series. Like, and it just annoys me more and more about the sequel trilogy of movies.
Yeah. All these
It's like,
characters and storylines, they could have taken any number of them with them to Tremors 5. And to just abandon all of it is just such a waste.
yeah, and this could have went on. You could have got at least out of the current plots so far, you get at least 3 seasons out of it. And as an
Absolutely.
episodal, this could have went on for this could have been almost supernatural type, not maybe not the full 13, but you could have got at least good 8 seasons out of this, just episodal with a wee bit of storyline thrown in, connecting plot. But
Yeah, I thought with only 13 episodes, it was like 12 out of the 13, if not 13, were going to be focused on El Blanco. And I was like, how are they going to try to keep that entertaining without being repetitive?
mhm.
And maybe there's been one El Blanco, like it's all been different.
Yeah, the first one, Feeding Frenzy, was the only one purely about El Blanco.
Yeah, yeah, they've done a great job
Mhm.
kind of diversifying the storyline.
And then this one, Project 412, it then ramps it up and just leaves the door open for like loads of stuff
Oh my
to
gosh.
come into the Tremors universe. And oh my god, and of course, Christopher Lloyd. What the hell? What else you need to say?
Oh my god, he was awesome. He was awesome. But yeah, you're right. The Project 412 is such a great idea because you have virtually no limit as far as the number of storylines you can make out of this. It could be like a monster of the week, type of episode. Like, it doesn't have to just be about the Graboid anymore. Who knows what creature they'll be up against next week with all these combinations. So it was fun. I thought with Project 412, I thought it was a fun idea to have it like almost like a pet
Yeah,
aspect to it. Um the design of it was cool. I think this is the first episode where like the CGI got exposed a little bit. Because in the past episodes they've done it just sprinkles of the shriekers and just little bits. This
yeah.
they had
But
they
this is
had to show a lot of them.
it was purely a land-based animal and showing it something different. And it was pure sci-fi channel graphics,
Yeah, yeah.
You're just like you just needed the sci-fi channel logo to be up because it's just that's their any of their shows. This is the level of graphics you get.
Right. Yeah. I was
But I
okay with
forgive it because
it.
honestly, it's a fun story, so I didn't mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. And going in that it's a TV show, so you're not expecting movie level special effects. And the special effects in episodes 5, 6, and 7 were fantastic, and we hate those movies.
Mhm.
So it just goes to show that the CGI is really such a small factor when you think of it compared to the other elements that a good
Yep.
story makes. Yeah.
Storytelling, characterization, as I always go back. I'm a boring twat going over the same stuff over and over again. But
Yeah. Special effects is probably like 50th on the
yeah,
list.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because location, uh, dialogue, costumes, there's so many things go into it without before you can get the special effects.
Yeah. 100%.
Should do maybe a top 10 list or something sometime.
That'd be fun.
What makes
Yeah.
what makes a good movie or what makes a good TV series?
Yeah. That's a
Because
cool idea.
yeah, special effects is way down there.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, here we'll start off with of course a bloody social media influencer. Like who needs them twats? flipping platforms thinking they can broadcast.
So you're talking about the guy with the
yeah,
camera?
Larry's doing it for his and this is 2003, so this is like early YouTube days, probably still MySpace.
Yeah. So fun fact about that, because I thought it was kind of out of place.
I had one of them
And
cameras.
what's that?
I had one of them cameras.
Oh no, not the not the camera, but just it was just very jarring to have this person that we've never seen before just show up, and then Tyler acts like he knows him.
He wasn't early. Was he not an early episode? Was he not?
Was he?
I think he was.
Oh, I apologize.
Briefly, yeah.
I don't remember him then.
I know, because we're doing it so far apart, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we went back, I think he wasn't the town. What was the one where the tourists got caught, and then what do you call him? Bert trained El Blanco to run away from the van engine. I think he was there.
Yeah, you might be right. That sounds very familiar. Okay. But I did do a little bit of research, and it turns out, because it was a little bit out of place to me, it turns out they filmed this after the episode was already filmed, because they saw that the Sci-Fi Channel aired these out of order.
Yeah, imagine if we had watched in normal order. Obviously, when we get the ghost dance, we'll talk about it more then. But imagine we hadn't if Levi hadn't helped us out.
Yeah.
And sent us like the correct order. Just sitting scratching your head, going, "What the hell?"
Exactly. So once the director and the producer, I guess SS Wilson, I think, whoever who's in charge of the programming, when he saw that Sci-Fi had aired it out of order, they added this button to the beginning of this episode and to the end to kind of explain that they already knew about Cletus. Because otherwise, if you don't show that part where he's talking about Cletus and the camera, when Cletus shows up, you know, it's going to be like, how do you know, it's going to be weird, because they already aired the ghosts. The ghost story episode first. So it would be weird that in this episode that they wouldn't know who he is. So now they had to make it like a flashback to explain that he's telling the story as if it's in the past.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, what do you mean? Don't you remember him from the previous episode? So they had to add that button because of Sci-Fi messing things up. So you already see, almost like Universal, how Sci-Fi is already making mistakes, you know, that's affecting the product.
Just out of ego. We need to be the big dig dogs. We need to own everything, and we can't share the pie. And it's like, for fuck's sake, you idiots, just burnt your own bridges, you morons.
It's ego, and I think it's also just not understanding the product, like not asking them, like, when should we air the episode, you know, with our big ticket item, you know, Christopher Lloyd. If they had just come to the director and say, what order should we air these, or there was a collaboration, they wouldn't have needed to film this part with him with the camera, you know, like it's just, it's executives or it's studios like thinking we know best. The episode where Cletus is in with the ghost story is the one we want to lead with, or we want to air it early, even though it doesn't make any sense.
And there's no confidence. That's showing no confidence in this show.
Right. Exactly.
Well, we didn't need Christopher Lloyd, you know. It's great having him on, but we don't need him to hold both the series up.
Right.
Because they've already done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, they've done it with a characterization. Burt Gummer's the hook from the movies. And they've enough, like, you even think, not Feeding Frenzy, A Blast from the Past. They're able to reference from Tremors 3, the Ass Blaster.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? They had it all sussed. This is a well-written TV show.
Yes.
So they don't need to rely on gimmicks. And that's why idiots really annoy me. And it's indicative of, I mean, we see it across Hollywood. We're seeing companies tank because of this stupidity, because they've put everybody in a position that don't belong there.
Right.
Because they're absolute muppets. And then it's not even the actors or the directors, it's the people in the background, the distribution. Look at the problems last year alone with distribution because of stupid people. Warner Brothers sell their, or was it, it was Universal again, sold their distribution wing to Europe before releasing Last Voyage of the Demeter. And then they're going, why do we have distribution? You just sold it. to your competitor. You fucking idiots. You know what I mean? Who does that? Who the fuck
right.
does that? That's like Burger King going, do you know what? Let's sell our flame grilled Whoppers to McDonald's for like a stupidly cheap amount of money and then wonder why, oh, that was the thing that everyone came to us for and we just sold it to our competitor. You know,
That's a metaphor I could get behind. Now you're
yeah,
talking my language.
freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's embarrassing as well because these people are absolutely milking it, making an absolute fortune. They don't care. They'll milk it till it runs dry, and they don't care if the company burns or people that rely on gig economy. As long as their little nests are feathered, they'll just do what they can to stay in a job.
Yeah.
They won't learn the job either or try and get better. I mean, they're grifters.
Yeah. I just feel like if you're a studio and you believe enough in a project to greenlight it and give the production company, give the director money, let them take it from there. Like, stop interfering, because if obviously if you were the talent, then you wouldn't need the director, but you're not. Like, the director is the talent, the actors are the talent, the writers are the talent, probably the biggest component of the writers. Like, if you believe in them enough, then let them do their thing and don't interfere. Don't air these out of order without talking to them, because this is just another example where they had to now film this camera scene to make it all make sense. And it's ridiculous. This is not year 7. This is like very early on. They're already making mistakes, the studio, you know? So.
But you can understand then why this didn't land when it came out.
I bet there was some confusion among viewers. They
Because
figured,
people are
like,
watching this going, what the hell is going on? So if you imagine 2003, you're watching this week to week on the Sci-Fi Channel, and then last week's episode doesn't make any sense, and then another one appears down the line that doesn't make any sense, and then something's connected to something that's already happened but is in the future. Like,
yeah,
you wouldn't get on board.
That's a great
We'd have
point.
probably been doing that too.
That's a great point. I didn't think about that. They probably lost viewers that were confused early on, and they're like, I don't understand. I feel like I'm missing out. So why am I going to continue with the show if I'm already missing out? I'll wait for the reruns, or, you know, that might have been their mentality where, like, I'm definitely missing something. I don't understand this. And then they're just out.
Yeah, and then they're thinking, what have you done? It? Can you not even write a TV show? And then it's because the flipping didn't do the episode right. And you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh. But needless to say, anyway, this was fun. But the thing is with Cletus, though, had he never heard of hydroponics or like farming cactus? I'm pretty sure cactus aren't that hard to grow.
He's supposed to be an advanced scientist too.
Yes.
Yeah. So I always go overboard to try to defend the creators, you know. So the only thing I'll say is that, you know, maybe being isolated for so long.
And talking to a lovely person themselves, there's Levi on.
Hey, Levi,
we're just singing your praises. Just saying that if you hadn't have given us the correct list to watch these in, we'd be scratching our heads right now, just going, what the hell? But thankfully, we're watching in the right order and we can follow along this plot.
Appreciate you, Levi. Absolutely. So yeah, with the hydroponics, it's a great idea. I mean, you think like an advanced scientist would have came up with something to help grow these cactuses more frequently. But I always go overboard trying to defend the story. So the only thing I could think of is, like, he was isolated by himself. He's out in the sun. He's not getting proper nutrition because he's afraid to go and get real food. You know, maybe he's just not thinking clearly at that point, or he didn't realize he would run out. He's always been able to find a source of these this particular chemical that helps calm down 412 before. But you're right, hydroponics would have been an easy solution to that problem.
Yeah. Because this is over a 30-year period, so he's effectively went into hiding and self-isolation. But with somebody with a mind like that, no way they're just sitting there scrubbing in the dirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to use his alter ego, if it had been like Doc Brown, there'd have been like farms set up, you know, and all sorts.
It would be like the beginning of Back to the Future, with like everything like forms into each other. Shoot, there's a name for those type of models where things like mechanically connect to each other. Oh boy.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like a ball falls and ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, there's like a specific name for that, but he would have had something like that set up in that little hovel of his.
Then again, the plot wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So I suppose I'll have to let that one go.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that's what we were putting it down to. That basically he went into isolation for 30 years and he was in hiding, looking over his shoulder. So maybe he wasn't like thinking straight, but I don't know. Just that would have still and then the fact that it's only happening now, it was never an issue, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But this is a classic way to expand the lore of a series.
I love this concept of Mixmaster. I think this, like we mentioned earlier, I think this could have expanded the show to multiple seasons because there's no end in plot lines that you could have with these creatures. It's just awesome.
And if they just keep it grounded the way they have, so it didn't have the, you know, why a lot of sci-fi shows have this bad habit of they write themselves into a corner with this because they only write like one season story arc and then they don't know how to. They're not planning for a season 2. Then they have to like write out of that corner into the next one. Then by the time they get to usually season 3, they've run out of avenues. Then it starts getting ridiculous.
Right.
But because this one's episodal, and they've already struck the button. I mean, we're practically 6 episodes in now, halfway through, and they haven't changed the form. I mean, there'll be a bit focusing on Blanco, and then there'll be a bit outside the valley. There'll be a new element comes into the valley, or Twizel will turn up and have a job for them. You know what I mean? They've got that whole circular thing going that there's enough to keep it fresh without having to get ridiculous.
Right.
Well, there's manage this plot element, and there's enough fresh material in with the normal episodes to keep it going.
100%. Now, I do find it interesting that this small valley located in a much bigger country, a much bigger continent, much bigger world. This small valley had 2 events that occurred: the Graboids and the secret project, with Mixmaster. And I started thinking about it, and I might just have a theory about this.
Do you know what? We're starting off early. Is this potentially a crazy theory?
I'm afraid it is.
I guess we're going to have to go with the crazy theory then. It's a theory. It's a Chris. Crazy Chris. Chris's crazy theory. God, you are hot off the traps today.
So I started thinking, what are the chances? What's more likely that the first Graboid sighting in North America occurred in the same place that a secret government project was going on in the 1970s? So I did a little research, and I believe...
Have you actually went and got a flip chart? Holy shit. Holy shit. That is so 90s. I love it.
I apologize for the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. Well, this is my Graboid timeline. Let me see if we can get that in here. Okay.
Oh, man. Right.
So first, 4.6 billion years ago, the Earth is formed. Give or take a few years. I'm willing to bend a little bit on that timeline. Then, a ways later, in 1965, the Vietnam War begins in earnest. 1970, the government tasks the Proudfoot Corporation to conduct military testing on animals to aid in the war. That is a fact, according to this story, of course. Okay, that's between 1970 and 1973. Mixmaster is developed and they start to conduct projects with that. 1973, Project 412 is created and bred for combat in Vietnam. And we'll talk about that more later as far as with the homing sensors and all that. Yeah. But I say around the same time, Secret Project 47 is created mixing a python and a tuatara lizard. I'll get into that, why I think those were the two creatures. 1973, the lab is destroyed. 412 escapes. I also think 47, which I'll talk about more in a moment, escapes.
Oh, 412 didn't escape.
Well, that's right. Cletus took
them. He stuck him in his.
I meant both of them escaped.
All right, okay.
Yes,
I was like,
yes. This does not dispute my theory.
Crushing your theory. Crushing it.
No, it's still accurate. Listen, 47 escapes and mixes with earthworms via Mixmaster, and it continues to grow. And then in 1990, Graboids are discovered in the town of Perfection. You know the rest. Duh. Okay. Now, you say, why would they mix a python and a tuatara lizard? Well, I'll get into that.
Carpet python or reticulated python?
Reticulated python. That's a good question. That's a good question. Just raise your hands if you have any questions. I'll point So the tuatara lizard happens to be, and you could Google this yourself, the fastest evolving creature known to man. So I think the Proudfoot Corporation used the lizard because it would help them adapt in Vietnam, and it would also help replicate because they were having problems with some of their creatures dying pretty early on. Cletus mentioned that in one of the episodes. If you notice some of the bumps and the ridges, very, very similar to the Graboid. Python snake can swallow a human whole, and it's one of those creatures that does not stop growing its entire life. Also, what do we know that swallows creatures whole? Graboids. And then finally, I think it mixed with an earthworm. Enough said. Earthworms, Graboids. So these three creatures combined for Mixmaster created the Graboids. Now I ask you something. Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? Or is it more likely that you say that both a secret project was conducted at the same place less than a mile away that the Graboids came? Are those two things just random of all the places? No. Mixmaster created Graboids. Boom, mind blown.
There we go. Get your tinfoil hats, people. It's been another crazy theory. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Crazy Chris. Chris's crazy theory. Universal. I don't know what three-letter agency is going to come after us now. This podcast is starting to get dangerous. Well, basically when El Blanco manages to travel at 88 miles an hour.
But isn't it a coincidence, though, that the Proudfoot was in the same area that these Graboids showed up just years later?
I think maybe not.
Right? I think I'm onto something this time. Levi, I got him this time. This one is right. Now you could say, well, in the second movie, I forget the name of the lady who said they found a fossil of a Graboid that she thinks was from the
down in Mexico.
She said
girl.
Yeah, but she was a geologist. She wasn't a paleontologist, and she said that it would take months to verify in a lab, and we never heard anything else about it since. So who's to say she was right about that? The only thing that kind of disputes this, and it's a shame because Tremors 4 was my favorite movie, is that Tremors 4 took place, years earlier. But I think that that's just a folktale, according to my theory, because how could you keep all those people quiet about something like this? So the fact that no one ever said anything in 1990, the Graboids are first seen, I think that's just the legend of Burt Gummer, and it's not, in fact, true.
Because funny enough, is it this one? Yeah, it is this one that Burt Gummer says he's been living in the valley 20 years.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, he does, because he was disputing with Cletus about the road that leads into the lab.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I think you've been living in the valley longer. If what happened? Because if Harem like set up in perfection, where did they go for Bert to come back?
Yeah. That is strange. Why would they leave and come back? Unless Tremors 4 was just a folktale.
Yeah,
And now, did I convince you?
we will never know. See, the problem is that this is all fun and games, but we always have to remember everything leads to the sequel trilogy.
It's true. That's true.
um, but you have to, like I said, the whole thing now that they've put enough in there, and they just played it right. They could have just injected this in every now and again, not made it the whole focus, and just kept the good vibes. And God, this would have went on for flipping 8 seasons easily.
Yeah.
And if they had have actually screwed the nut and got the movies right and tied it into the bloody TV show. Oh, let's see. Is there an example of that being done before? Heard of Star Trek, anybody?
Yeah.
Well, they managed to directly relate a TV series to movies. That worked out pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. And
Until
even
Jar Jar Abrams.
yeah, I was gonna say even with Abrams, even though he changed things, at least he gave a reason in the story why it changed. Because of the they went back and changed the time. So at least there was some, they didn't just ignore everything that happened before.
No, and they did it with
Yeah.
Firefly. They did it with
Right.
Babylon 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were TV movies, but it doesn't matter. These were straight to, I mean, there's, 2 cinema releases, 3, and everything else was straight to DVD.
Yeah.
So, there's other franchises have shown that they can tie a TV show into the actual series, keep the continuity, and in fact, enrich the continuity, because then people will go back and revisit the TV show.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, makes me mad.
Yeah.
Oh, you bastards.
I wanted
But
a
I
couple
love the way, like Bert really is a hero. Like there's Cletus just land in the middle of the desert, and then Bert's just arrives, and just the current, way he's got that gruff, but he doesn't. He is actually Karen. He's got a gruff manner about him, but he's always looking after everybody.
I love that element of him. I think
Like 1 to 3. This is the Bert Gummer 1 to 3.
Yes.
And
yeah. Not when they try to deconstruct him, like you said. Yeah, I think this is the key element that people that are a group of fans, Levi's taught me, that there's a group of fans that are big Burt Gummer fans that are very, right-wing, political. They kind of put down, some other people that don't agree with them. There's like a very extreme group of people that look at Burt Gummer as a TV icon that is agrees with their philosophy, and I think they're missing out on I've never seen Burt Gummer talk bad about another person's belief. Like he might say, oh, and he'll make like a joke or something like that, but he saves everyone, he respects everyone, and yeah.
But this is back in the day when people could actually coexist, and you know what I mean? One side didn't demonize the other.
Right.
See, you Yanks, honestly. Just start your civil war.
Yeah.
Look, we've had hundreds over here. They're easy. You just crack on, get them done. Behead a few monarchs, and that's it. You know what I mean? Just you're like afraid to start your second one. Just go and get it out of your system.
Just get it over
and
with.
it'll all be better. Honestly, you massively chill after. Like you've only had one. Our last civil war ended in 1996. So you know what I mean. We've kept current.
Yeah,
we got a lot of your system. Then again, this constant yapping is doing nobody good. You just need to just start firing up the Gatling guns and get on it.
We got a lot of catching up to do. It sounds like
absolutely. What do you mean? Don't put that evil right? Dumb yet. You take everything to an extreme. You have the go big or go home. So you just take that with everything, and then there's things that don't need to be taken to the nth degree, but you do because they're silly, because they're still kids. Listen to the grown-ups. These are still teenagers throwing temper tantrums. throwing her
Well,
toys out of the pram.
that I probably
pushes over my knee, gives a good seeing to.
yeah. I probably I don't help our case because I think I'm exactly as you just described. But there are other people that are more grown up here. I just don't know them.
I don't think I have grown up on the show. I'm talking about being grown up with toys all around me. I'm talking about movies and flipping pretend worms. Oh dear. No, that's the internet as a social media, The ones that always go off are the flipping lunatics because they're brave. They're brave when they're behind a keyboard, you know what I mean? It's the usual. Like most of them are hiding behind avatars.
Right.
Like they
Yeah.
haven't even got the guts to do this and state their views.
That's a good point.
I
Yeah.
just don't pay them any mind either side of the fence. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to just enjoying stuff?
That's what this show is so refreshing. It's just a throwback to another time, and 2003 doesn't sound so long ago, but it's 21 years ago.
Yeah,
that's a
and
long.
It really does feel like another time. It feels like completely like ancient history now. Just the way the world has moved so rapidly, but degenerated.
Yeah, but that's why the town of perfection is so great because it is all different individuals from different backgrounds, and you wouldn't know it. They just come together and help each other as a small community that relies on each other. So without beating you over the head with that messaging, it's just a nice example of a community.
Well, there was no messaging because what they did, let's see, the creative characters, they give each character a backstory, and then they also give each character a link and a reason for being in the town.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's hard. And then nobody gives a shit.
Right.
But anyway, on to the important stuff. So Cletus is found, and he just goes mental, running into the chags, going, "There's a monster on the loose."
That was such a great line.
So
yeah, we know.
Yeah, and we know. And he's like freaking out, and everyone's like, "You need to calm down. It's a Tuesday." You know what I mean?
That's what's so great about this is that they live with El Blanco, who comes close to the he could actually come very close. We've seen him now in this episode. Yeah, I think it's in this episode, right? Because he eats 412, where he literally comes within a few feet of Chang's store.
He goes through the town.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why they had remember, like, we got that set up in the first episode when they have the timer and they know he's coming and they've tracked him, and then they have to hold everything as he trundles away underneath.
Right. But there are times where I'm like, lured into a false sense of security when you see like people pull up to the store and they get something to drink, or they're ready to go on the Graboid tour. So you have all these people coming. Like he literally in a moment's notice could be right there. It's crazy how close danger is, and they've just become accustomed to it,
Yeah, but then they've got everything set up, the sensors and the track is moving, and then here's the thing as well. They've done so well setting it up in the first 2 episodes of this.
Yeah.
That you feel comfortable, like you're part of the town. That's the thing that this show did so well, which I have not seen. I can't think of another show that's done so well bringing you into the universe. And I mean, even tied to, I know they've had the movies and stuff, but I mean, if you never watched any of the movies, you can watch this TV show and just within 2 episodes, you're part of the town.
Yeah.
And you see the routine and everything else, and it's not overstated, it's not beating you over the head. You're not being talked to like a moron. They've showed they didn't tell. The classic of storytelling, show don't tell, and they showed how it works,
right?
And we're on board now, and then that means they can push the boat out because they set the foundation.
Yeah.
So why is this hard?
It shouldn't be. It's true. I'm trying to think as you're talking if there's another example of a show that did that so well, and I can't. Yeah. You want to be friends with these people, you want to be part of this town, even though you know, you could be swallowed by a Graboid potentially. You still want to be there, and they've done such a good job of that. But I think with that joke where he says there's a monster on the loose, I feel like that's a great example of getting the comedy right. Like there's a lot of different types of comedy, and the ones I keep going back to the same example, but it's just the perfect example from episode 5 with the lion peeing on Bert. Like the comedy styles are so different, and this is perfect. It's subtle, it's fun, it's endearing, it's not aggressive, or you know what I mean? Like I love this this
It's not
balance.
jarring. It doesn't take you out of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and of course, even in the face of danger, there's still time for flirting.
Of course.
Cletus is right in there with Nancy, like not messing about.
Yeah, they had a great chemistry. If this show had gone on for longer, I would have loved to have seen that continue to develop. You see a little bit of it in the in Ghost Story, but I don't think it was continued much because there wasn't much time for it.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I had any plans for it to blossom into anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame. Like just the fact that all of a sudden, hubba hubba, I like you. No, I know I've been in the desert for 30 years. You look good. It's nice to see Nancy get, because Nancy's the only character here, I think, is the one in the background.
Yeah, we don't see her talk much about her daughter, so we got a little bit of that in this episode. Because that was the thing that stood out about her character in the first movie was the relationship with her daughter. She was a mother. Now without the daughter, we really don't know much about her personality. And this, we got to see a little bit of it.
Yeah, and the only other time was when the survival class was happening, and she got her chance to shine in. But most of the time, she's like a background character, which is I suppose, obviously, this is effectively an ensemble cast, so it's tricky to give everybody a chance, or else it gets too convoluted. They try to give every episode, every character.
Yeah, you can't do that. And this is only our 6th episode, I think.
This is the fifth.
Fifth. Oh yeah, 5th and then 6th.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's still time. Hopefully.
You would see, like I said, if this was going on for seasons, God, they're laying all the groundwork nicely. Yeah, but of course, we'll have to get the compulsory. Rosalita is gorgeous, because that's where we're going to next. I just love the fact as well, right? You have to tell Rosalita to get down here. You know what she's like? It's like, just tell her it's important this time. And she's cracking up because, like, right, you told me ass blasters, graboids, shriekers. That's all I had to deal with. What's this? No.
She was so mad. You said there were only 3 things to be better.
What the hell is this now? I'm just like, just loving it. I mean, Stitches, she is the comedy relief.
Yes.
She's like, what is it? The straight man, the straight man of comedy, the one that everybody explains everything to.
Yeah.
Because she's technically the outsider. She took over Miguel. Was it Miguel? Yeah, it was Miguel's farm.
Yeah. So
she took over Miguel. So she's the outsider that everyone can explain everything to, so that the audience knows.
Yeah. So interesting story, because Levi in the chat last week posted something that said that had the series gone on, there was a few storylines they had in the works. They didn't have like a ton of storylines, but one of the few they had was that it was going to turn out that Rosalita was actually not related to Miguel. She was lying about it
to get away from something in Vegas.
Yeah.
Which that was hinted at.
So they've sprinkled that in, but they never came out and said that. I've been watching the episodes now in a different light, viewing her that way. I think that would have been a cool twist. And how would the town react to that? Would they kick her out? Would they be mad that she lied to them? Or
no, I doubt it, because even Nancy said there, what was it? The one with the hood rats. when you're ready to tell your story, we're here to listen. So that was sprinkled in. They've
Yeah.
set all the groundwork for her story, and yeah, why the hell not? I mean, there's a way to keep it fresh. You've got all these little plot lines, and then you don't have to visit them immediately,
Yeah.
which is a lot of TV shows do. That they have to, oh, we have to use this up right now. No, save it for a season or two, drop it in, and then you can revisit it. But nobody now thinks beyond the end of their nose that it's
Yeah.
shows, because TV and movies are shit.
But it's interesting. What would have happened to that worker who was working for her, thinking that she owned
Oh,
that ranch?
Harold?
Yeah. Would he then? He was the one that would, stand the most to lose or the most to gain if she wasn't the owner. So that could be an interesting dynamic too. How would that
I
have
don't
played out?
think they've. I don't think he's that type of character. I have a funny feeling. I don't think they're going to go the drama. This isn't a drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to go that route. This is a feel good, fun sci-fi flick. So I don't think it's going to go that. And if it did, it would completely destroy the tone of the show.
Yeah. Maybe I'm overthinking this. when
Maybe a
when
wee
have
bit.
when have you known me to overthink something though?
Not at all. You wouldn't do that. Like, we don't have an entire segment within a segment dedicated to your overthinking.
That would never happen.
I love the targeting visuals of 412 and the cheesiness.
They never explained it. Like I didn't see like any like Terminator technology on him or any embedded
Yeah,
like
I thought if they had a like a little monocle,
a little Monica would have been
yeah,
hysterical. Oh my god, that would have been great. Like a
it flipped down.
cyborg. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a wee
Oh my
harness.
god, that would have been hysterical if if it reached out its paws with its 4 claws and
It
flipped
just
down.
flipped it down. Yeah, like as scratches there, flipped it down. Poof. I think I would have. I think I would have stretched the CGI department a bit much.
Yeah, they didn't have the budget for that.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. But yeah, that
Uh
was great. That was a great little touch.
yeah. Just and then obviously we have Cletus and Nancy together, and she's washing his clothes and stuff, and then oh, they're such a 2000 thing. The Jerry Springer Show.
So I wanted to ask you about
Oh,
that. So it looked like she was watching live TV, but in my mindset, I had always thought of
no,
this
she said it was a rerun.
it was a rerun, but was it a rerun from television or she had like a tape or something that she put in?
No, I think it was. I think it was television. I don't think.
Because I don't think I like to think of them as being isolated where they don't have access to, besides a phone line, which they have now. I don't think of them as having like access to TV or I don't know. It
I
just,
suppose like aerials, like normal. And it would probably be if they ever got cable, it'd be the old school. Remember the old school satellites in the back garden?
yeah, but
It'd be that sort of thing.
I've never seen any of those, and I just feel like I like the idea where they don't have access to a lot of modern technology. I like that they're
I mean, you can
isolated.
still pick up a TV signal. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, it ruined it
remember the
a
wee
little.
sets, the wee portable ones. We used to always take it down to the holiday home. They had the old school things in your own. You could always pick up something.
Yeah, but at Chang's market, she has all these movies for rent, and I like the idea where they don't have TV.
But that
So
was the 2000s anyway.
yeah, yeah,
Don't forget, streaming wasn't a thing. So it was either terrestrial TV or DVD. You know what I mean? DVD collection.
right. I
So
think it was even
that fits right in.
I think it was even VHS cassette tapes that Chang had. I saw in the background she
Yeah,
had the
probably as well. But it's
yeah.
still what I mean, that was the time.
Yeah, yeah. But just in my mind, I just like the concept of them being isolated from the news and from the modern world. I don't know. Just me personally, I like that they're in their own little bubble.
Yeah, but
So
there's
when I
still
saw, go ahead. Yeah,
no. They make it obvious they still have contact with the world.
yeah, and they've shown that where they've
Mhm.
been able to call for an ambulance and like it's they're not as isolated as I would like them to be. I just like that idea of like this small community.
Well, the idea if they go out of the valley, what I mean, the valley ever gets shut down and they're isolated.
Hmm.
I mean, it's everything's a hassle. It's not like just down the road. You know what I mean? it's a trip
It's an ordeal,
to go
yeah.
and do anything. That's why Chang's is the main store, because obviously they go and get stuff in, uh, warehouse retail. You know, what I mean, they bring it all in, and it's just enough for the valley plus tourists.
Yeah.
So there's enough of the isolation, I think. I equivalent to make it equivalent like being in the Scottish Highlands or out in the sticks. Even where I am I'm close to like one of the biggest cities in the world, but I'm enough out in the sticks that I'm isolated. If that makes sense. There's
Yeah.
really nothing around here. Like I'm surrounded by fields,
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
you know what I mean. There's only a few shops like within walking distance, and a small grocery store. You know what I mean. Anything for me is a journey to go into the nearest big town. So
Yeah.
I'm sort of viewing it like that. It's isolated, but not that isolated.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Levi's and aerial antennas, even middle of nowhere. So yeah, it's
Aerial antennas.
yeah,
Okay.
comes from satellites.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
But then the fact that they're using CB radios, not their main form of communication and stuff, rather than mobile phones, because they're the thing. Obviously, the mobile phones are terrible for signal because there's no masts being put up. So there's the isolation as well. So there's plenty of examples of it.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just not. You're thinking they should be cavemen.
Yeah, I like the idea of like they have to, come together to watch the one movie on VHS, or they have to like read, or I don't know. I just the
It's
idea
not
of
the
them.
1950s. Come
I
on.
know. I guess it's the idea of them sitting watching Jerry Springer just takes me out of that vibe a little bit.
All right, well, I just didn't even. Realize. If that was the thing that was going to upset you about this TV show, well, that was not what I was expecting.
That's
That was a deal breaker for you.
no. Just,
I love it, brilliant. But yeah, just that, and then the fact that Cletus is letting everybody know that he's been watching. When he gets lonely, he goes up with the binoculars, and spies on them.
I'm surprised he's not just spying on Rosalita.
No, he said he knew Nancy and Mindy and
Yeah.
just everybody.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But I have to say, like, Bert and Cletus, like those two, there's another buddy cop movie waiting to happen. Like those two, the banter between each other, brilliant.
Oh, that was great. I love the two of them on screen. And I think I on Levi's channel, I made a comment in the chat. I think that you could make the case that of all 7 movies and the TV show, that Christopher Lloyd is the biggest star they've had, and collectively, like besides Kevin Bacon in the beginning. So I just thought that was really cool because Michael Gross finally had someone to play off of that at that next level. Everyone else has been fine. I've enjoyed the acting, but I thought their scenes were dynamic. The two of them together going back and forth. I was really invested in those scenes.
Oh yeah, I actually see 2 seasoned actors going. Yeah, let's have a good scene together. Let's have some banter, and script was done brilliantly.
Yeah,
the back and forth. I love clever dialogue.
Yeah,
and it wasn't nasty or anything. It was just just playful, and I like that. What's wrong about a playfulness? And God, this harkens me back to this is really reminding me of when things were good before they got really bad.
Yeah, it's just enjoyable. It's
like
just
you can't have that today without people denigrating each other. Where here we go, here's the two, Bert, the undisputed champion, in survivalist circles and dealing with graboids, and then you've got a biochemist, part of secret government agencies, basically proving Bert right for all conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
and even one up on him by saying, "Here's one you didn't know about. This is right under your nose." Ner. That was.
That was a cool reveal with the road where he put the dust. There's the road, and then I love the ending of it.
Yeah, the truck. That's what we're talking about. The truck scene's fantastic.
Yeah,
and there you go. There's special effects right down the bottom again, because there you've just got 2 people in a truck with a camera and some dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh, and a bit of a bit of gravel thrown over a road. Wow. Super expensive. Somebody with a shovel went, "Woof, there we go. Can't see that, but
Yeah.
there's a special effect, a shovel."
I thought that was a cool reveal though,
Yeah.
because Bert knows this valley like the back of his hand. So for there to be a secret road leading up, like I thought that was cool. And I love how the ending of the show has him just exploring, trying to find where it goes. I thought that
He's
was
like a bloodhound now. You
like a
know what I mean?
bloodhound. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's giving him the scent, and that's him.
Yeah. And it ties brilliantly into the beginning of the next one.
Yeah, Ghost Dance, which why the hell would they have released this as a second episode?
Yeah.
Like, imagine we had to watch this in order and we watched Ghost Dance as like the second episode. You just be scratching your head going, what the hell is this?
Yeah, like we said at the beginning of the show, I really feel like this cost them some viewers that were just confused and they thought they were missing things. And this was, back in the day where you weren't streaming, so if you
You
missed,
could have went online and couldn't got an answer, and wasn't Yahoo Chat was about then. MySpace was about, but that was only super nerds.
right?
But this is the general audience, what I mean? The general audience can go onto social media now. Not back then. It's still bloody dial-up.
Exactly. So
Like
if they,
ISDN was only, it wasn't even broadband hadn't even been invented. It was still the ISDN cables, and that was a specialist order from your ISP.
yeah,
Sorry, just a lot of friends played our own real tournament. Sorry, just show me age. It's flipping has. I knew the setups. Some mates live in a student house. They all rented a room each, and what they done was they actually drilled through the ceilings and stuff and put the cables down so they could play.
oh wow.
So flipping.
I could one up you. I remember Commodore 64 when the fast load cartridge was released. It took down your load up time from 13 minutes to a robust 6 minutes.
Okay, I see your Commodore 64 and I read you the Spectrum 48K.
Oh, I
The
don't even know.
Spectrum Rubber Key when they finally got a disk drive, a 7.5-inch floppy disk, and that was
Oh man.
the equivalent of the day about $3,000 to buy that.
Oh wow.
That was like super duper on a, and oh god, those keys are horrible. Like I don't know if you ever saw that thing. It was about this size.
No.
Because obviously the 128K is what everybody remembers from the Spectrum, with the tape deck built in. It looked like a... No, actually, because the Commodore 64, the tape deck was separate, wasn't it? The cream color. But the Spectrum 48K was grey. The 128K, and had the tape deck built in. But I had the precursor to that, the Spectrum 48K.
Wow.
Like,
that's cool.
you've more memory. You end up with more memory in a scientific calculator. Never mind your phone. You know what I mean? That's how much terrible those things were. Back in the day, now you can just play them online with emulators. It's a bit of HTML.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, we forgot to say, obviously El Blanco, we thought it was going to be over. We're going to get a bit of a showdown between El Blanco and 412.
Yeah, that was a cool story beat. I thought that was going to be the ending where
El Blanco goes rumph.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been a better ending actually than what they did.
I think so too. I feel like you can't use El Blanco to solve every episode's problems, but I don't think they've overused it yet.
No,
and
that
would have been a good time for it, especially since they both came from the same lab.
Or had 412 riding El Blanco like a Fremen. That would have been interesting, but yeah, we were a sad ending because like the way I know that they already set up with the silicone base, that's why they melted them, fireworked.
Yeah,
but it just seemed a bit cruel.
Right in front of Cletus too, who had to just watch his beloved pet, burn in front of him. Yeah, that was. But I mean, Bert had to do what he had to do. He's he doesn't suffer no fools.
No, I have a funny film we might see, or the setup we might have seen. I think Bert is the reason the Blue Diamond is gone.
Oh,
right, okay.
interesting. Like he was getting rid of those plants for some reason,
or something's going on. Yeah, but there are loads of things to explore. But they left it actually that.
Oh,
He just had it all. All right, okay. You just really like cactus.
that's
Cactus isn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't.
When you shave off the spines, and when you get over the fact that it's a bit gooey, and if you fry it just right, it's not bad. I don't mind cactus.
Yeah, that's a good point. And as terrible as the episode 5, 6, and 7, wasn't there an episode 5 where he's talking about cactus and rattlesnakes and stuff like that? So maybe
I can't remember.
I might be wrong about that, but I do. Yeah, I think that's an interesting theory. If he's eating cactus in the first episode, that he might be the reason. But it was only a matter of time. I mean, eventually, even if 412 survived, Cletus, eventually is going to die, and then 412 is going to get out and go after people anyway. He was bred for war, so in the end, the only person that got killed in this one was that that jerk biker guy.
He may as well have had a red shirt on. You know what I mean? If he was in Star Trek, he'd have had a red shirt.
Yeah.
You knew that was happening. The way he bashed in the door, like, you're toast.
Yeah.
I spent an hour talking about one episode. Flip's sake.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be that in depth, but it just shows that there's so much they've put in here and so many seeds have sown. I was like, bloody hell,
yeah, it's just fun. Yeah.
But then we get the ghost dance, and it's basically carrying on. I thought they might have left it in an episode or two before carrying on, but no, they've done a follow on. Maybe it was just a schedule with Christopher Lloyd,
right,
to get all the scenes.
Yeah, I think it probably would have been better if they placed it later on in the season as like an exciting callback where we thought Christopher Lloyd was just one and done, and then now we're getting him for a second episode as a bonus. Like that probably would have made more sense. But it's still better than the way they actually aired it on TV.
Yeah, that's utter stupidity.
Yeah,
utter stupidity. But yeah. And was that the mine? Tremors 4, was that a precursor?
Yeah, I thought maybe that's where they got that idea, maybe. Because I know they were writing Tremors 4, I think, at the same time as they were filming this. So maybe that he was trying to tie it into the movie, or at least it was on his mind. So that's a good point. I thought about that. Yeah. That is interesting.
Oh, it is, right. There we go. Yep, it is the mine from Tremors 4.
Nice.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, because I mentioned it was a silver mine. And
it's awesome to be able to fire these questions at our Tremors expert.
But yeah, we've got the spelunkers, and you're just yous are dead.
I thought that was pretty good special effects, the way they made the face look and stuff on that.
Yeah, that was once again, there you go. It was better than the CGI. Actually, the CGI wasn't horrible.
I thought it was better in this one. I thought it got a little exposed with 412 because they had to show him a lot. And I think the CGI is better in doses, small doses. This one I thought that was a cool effect and a cool concept with a sentient gas cloud. I mean, that's unique. I haven't seen that anywhere else,
No, it's like something out of Ghostbusters. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Or Scooby-Doo, we always had the fluorescent stuff flying about the place when they go to find the the first character they meet who turns out to be the villain.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, just done brilliantly. But this is the concern where it could go wrong, is every episode then they bring in a new creature, which would be silly, and then they lose what they were. So if this had been like a couple of episodes later, but it just shows the ones run that had no confidence in the show, which absolutely ridiculous. This is
Yeah.
some of the TV I've seen in a long time, like just proper feel good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. There was enough versatility already in these first 6 episodes. Like you had the one where you had the two goons, that come and try to prove if El Blanco's not real. Like there was, it seems like
And we
there's a
still haven't had that storyline resolved because one of them got away.
right.
Well, they'll probably pop back at some point.
Yeah. So there's been enough diversity where it's not just a new creature of the week. Although that would be cool too, but eventually that would get old. Like I do feel like there was a lot to this. There was a lot of places they could have gone with this.
But the fact that they're following on that now that Bert knows there's a secret lab, he's the bloodhound. He's got the scent.
Yeah,
And he's tracking. Oh look, there's El Blanco. Nobody goes in right angles in the desert.
I was with him. I think the more I watch the show and the more of the movies I watch, I think I'm turning into Burt Gummer with his conspiracy theories. I have concerns.
And that's the running joke throughout this episode too. Oh, he's on a roll because then we get Tozel back, and like he's on a roll. When he starts getting things right, that's it. There's no stopping him. He's like a juggernaut. Just
oh, that was a great bit they had. Yeah.
But once again, that's where Muppets and social media. There's no left wing, right wing things. There's just different people, and
Yeah,
the fact that they have a joke, but at the same time understand his value. And it's
yeah,
all done in good nature. Oh God, I miss that. I miss that about the world.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely better times because this was a sentiment of the the 90s and the early 2000s that we had all this shit fucking put to bed. Yeah, nothing was perfect. There's no such thing as a utopia.
Yeah, if you had to make not had to, if you got to make this show now, I think the studio would force Rosalita to be a girl boss, as you like to call it.
Yeah, completely
She would
ruin her character.
she would be the star. She would have no flaws. She would have no weaknesses. She wouldn't be afraid of anything. You would have Bert, if he was even allowed to be in it, that type of character. He would have to be, put down and made fun
Tremors
of.
7
Yeah, exactly.
watched it play out in the movies, so it would be Tremors 7 just made into a TV show.
Yeah, yep, that's true. Yeah, we don't need to wonder. We could just watch Tremors 7 and figure out.
Yeah, get angry again. Fucking
Yeah. So that's another thing that's really nice about this is it's just a peek back and life was simpler. Yeah.
Yeah, and just oh man, it does. It's sad that this is only one series, and like I said, it is a snapshot in time of the attitudes because it did reflect the attitudes of the time. And then these fucking Muppets are like, "Oh, nothing was fixed until 2016." It's like, piss off, you lunatics.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we have Nancy, and what was she talking about? Because it was like when she's talking about aliens and stuff, and
and she was saying almost like
Reiki and energy, and like Bermuda triangles. And I was starting to think, God, this is the History Channel when doing all their alien civilizations segments and stuff.
I really like this though. I was talking to a friend, a buddy of mine are watching Fringe. I don't know if you ever saw that TV show from 2009. It's a sci-fi TV show. It's kind of a cool concept. Yeah.
It's very little in the way of TV I watch because for every one of these shows, there's 30 crap ones that I just give me a headache.
Okay. This one's pretty interesting. It is made by Abrams, so maybe you wouldn't like it.
JJ Mr. Abrams. Mystery Box, within the Mystery Box.
Yeah. But what I was saying I liked about that, and it's evident here too, is it's a subtle thing, but I like when the writers have the characters come up with theories about what's going on that end up to be wrong. Because I think too many times shows have the characters, everything they say is foreshadowing and turns out to be right. So if a character looks at a mystery and says, "Oh, I think it's this," and then later on it turns out to be that, it's kind of unrealistic to me. So Nancy going on and on about this, what she thinks is going on with this ghost about, Bermuda Triangle, and it turns out she's wrong, which I like. I think it's more
But it
realistic.
didn't matter because it was just people hypothesizing and having
Yes,
conversations.
but
And then I love the fact that like Rosalita starts bringing in better, we'll get folklore from all over the world in this, every continent.
yeah,
Because Chang, she talks about the red demons. Rosalita talks about South American spirit. And then Harold just brings in the coyote, the Native American one, just purely to wind the cover up.
I just got it.
Because he winks at Travis. He's just like, he knew he's on the edge. And no way, this is getting under his skin. It's
Yeah,
like if somebody has Bert too much going on about the survival stuff and he's annoying them, they were doing the same to him. And then
yes,
Harold just saw the opportunity because Harold's one of them characters. He's so understated. And he's just one of them ones there at the right time, if that makes sense. But he's not overshadowing. But just that moment, he's like, yeah. And then he just throws that in just to wang Bert up. And that's where you get the whole community. You know what I mean? It's things like that. It's dialogue like that to let you know that these people know each other intimately.
right.
And know how to rib each other and push each other's buttons just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah. But it's also a sign of good writing, because I think as a writer, you're trying to keep these episodes within a certain, framework. Back then, you couldn't go a minute over because you have commercials and everything like
It's a
that.
terrestrial TV, so they're right bang on the schedule and they're
Yeah.
not.
Nowadays with streaming, if you go a few minutes over, it's fine. So I think when a writer is looking at an episode and they realize that they have to keep it within a certain time frame, the first thing they're going to lose is they're going to lose dialogue like Nancy's, which is not turns out to be wrong because it's not necessary to the plot. But as a viewer, I really enjoy those little beats because, them theorizing about what it could be, I think is fun and it's realistic. Not every character is going to know the answer right away.
Yeah.
So them theorizing about what it could be, a red demon or a ghost or this, I thought that was great. I thought that really makes you immersed.
And just the fact that they've encountered something new that they weren't ready for this. This is something brand new. And yeah, just how else would you react? What the hell is this?
Yeah. Levi said, are they conspiracy theories if they're true? Well, now listen, I don't like to go with conspiracy theories. I like to stick to the facts. If you know anything about me, I don't like crazy theories. I like to stick to the facts.
But you get a reputation doing things like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got like that's it. The tinfoil hat is picking up the right frequencies in this one because it's just Bert is on game. This is an episode where Bert is on fire. He's just like zoned in.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised they don't believe him more often at this point. He's been right even before this episode.
No, but even Travis is making a joke of it. He's you know what I mean? Don't you hate it when he's on a roll?
Yeah.
Like the know he's usually out there, but then when he's on a roll and then he just gets more and more confident and more annoying. That's what I said. It's the show don't tell thing of the writing that they're showing that these people know each other intimately and they know when to disregard him, they know when to take him seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Where today, if that was written, it would just, they'd be mugging him off right to the last minute, and yeah, for God's sake, be rational, I mean, just
that was a great line.
Yeah. Just like,
and he plays it so well because that could easily be overdone. Sometimes in comedy you try to play it up as comedy too much, or you give like a wink to the camera type, not literally, but you overdo it.
Yeah.
He said that so straightforward. For God's sakes, be rational. He played that so down the middle was perfect. So Michael Gross gets comedy as often the character has to believe in what he's saying, and the comedy comes from the actual content of what he's saying and not the person saying it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like
playing it straight, basically. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
This episode is it's an example of the community. This was the one that really highlights the community
Yes.
more than anything. Yeah, it's a brand new threat, but it's showing the strength of they're not floundering. They're like when they decide to go and do stuff, boom, they just fall into line with each other and everyone does their bit.
Agreed. I love that. I love that. That's the best aspect of this show is you want to be one of them, you know?
And the EPA, is that another one of America's three-letter agencies, like super secret squirrel type stuff?
Yes. Environmental Protection Agency. Yeah.
Yeah. They're a wee bit clandestine for just, environmentalists.
Yeah. I like that they're not completely evil, but yet they're definitely because they could easily just wipe out this town and say this town knows too much because Bert reveals a lot that he was right about the secret project project Proudfoot Corporation. He basically comes out. I was surprised in that scene that he laid his cards on the table like that, and Bert tells him, "Yeah, we know about the secret base you guys had." You could make a case where the EPA or the government could be like, these people know too much. We need to sequester them. We need to shut them up somehow. I like that they don't do that. Like I don't know. They're
Well, it's like even
bad.
the whole even with Twizel at the very start, it's like nothing. You know what I mean? There's a good natured of right. And I think once again that's today's attitude. Everything's evil and everything's oppressive and
Yeah.
we have life so hard now. Fucking never had it better, but whatever. But the fact that even to us, like, why can't I get moved to another department? I keep having to come back to deal with this shit, and it's all once again good natured, and
It's good natured. Exactly.
this is why people are so miserable now, and they're frigging aging before their time because they're constantly carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders, and everybody's against them, and that's not good for you. That grinds you down.
Yeah, 100%.
Are there dickheads out there? Yes. Are there people acting against your interests? Yes. Is it always going to be like that? Absolutely, because that's human nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can't sit and twist yourself up every day because they win anyway because you're doing their job for them.
100%. Yeah.
There's me off my soapbox, you know what I mean? But yeah, just the whole even that is just the banter and the and coming in all we'll take it from here. And the whole chest rub or burst, beating the chest with Twizel and that. It was all funny, but then when they actually encounter it, they completely mess up. Oh, it's meant to be orange. Oh, why is it green? But we'll have a crack anyway. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and then they didn't call for backup or anything like that, but it all works. It's good natured. You know what you're getting into.
It's meant to be tongue in cheek.
It's tongue in cheek. That's a perfect word.
And you're not meant to. I think because we've been oversaturated with everything having to be high drama.
Or everything's dark.
Talking about sci-fi, everything's dark and high drama and miserable, and that's why people are switching off and freaking depressed.
Yeah.
And that's why they'd rather watch a couple of YouTubers and a lot of shows now, because why would you? Do you remember that series called The 100? Did you ever watch it?
Yes.
God, that was headache inducing. Every scene was drama. High times music, drama, and it was just like you're exhausted watching an episode a lot because it never dialed down.
Yeah.
And that to me seems to be the way TV is now. Everything has to be up. Look at all the movies. They have to be sparkly lights, like practically poking you in the eyeballs because they can't. People are overstimulated, and now they don't know how to operate any other way.
Yeah.
Without constantly being stimulated, so they can't take that breath because that's just the way. If it's not the device in their face or the lights, when they go to the cinema, they can't take that pregnant pause and they can't just let characters breathe. Like, probably a lot of people, like younger people today, wouldn't get this series at all. It'd probably be too slow for them, not enough drama, not enough angst for them because they don't know Anything else?
Yeah. I think it's even more evident in movies. The pacing of movies are so chaotic that sometimes when I watch an older movie from the 70s or 80s, it's like, this is just relaxing. You have time for character development. You have time to let a scene breathe. You don't have to just jump, like at the end of the movie, you're like, jeez, that was fast,
We
modern
watched last
movies.
night. Steve and I reviewed the Quatermass Experiment, 1955, black and
Yeah,
white movie,
I enjoyed
and
that.
it was bloody brilliant. It was a good watch, and it actually had good pacing, and it had
Yeah.
drama, and it had a sense of urgency,
Yeah. I love that look.
and it had a big cardboard rocket
Yeah.
that they couldn't spray water directly on in case they flew through it. You know what I mean? No, we've seen it, Creature from the Black Lagoon, all sorts. There's loads of stuff out there
Yeah.
that's brilliantly paced. So you don't need to be that's the problem, because when you ratchet it up, it's like being on the roller coaster and always going up and up and up and up and up and up, and then you've nowhere to go. 'Cause that's it.
Yeah.
But well, at least we got this. But I just love the folklore, and that's just getting interspersed with everything. And then the EPA guys trying to do it, and then the whole showdown with the guy that was left.
Yeah. That was cool. You talk about like the scene with where they're MacGyvering, where they're trying to put together the
Yeah, but even before that, when the
oh,
guy's in the van and he's lost his partner and just doesn't know what to do.
yeah.
And they're like, right, listen, we've been around the block a bit. Come on. I can't tell you. Look, we already know. He's like, yeah, they do already know. Oh, well, look, what do you want to do here? We can
Yeah.
play these games or we can crack on with it.
Well, the EPA guy had a great line because Bert's like, we know about the secret base. We know about Mixmaster. We know about, and he's like, who are you guys? It's great.
And that's even before they brought Cletus into the mix.
Right. You're right. Yeah. But that was a great plot point, though, that the EPA guy is finally like, what am I, I could keep denying it, or I could, use these guys' help,
Yeah, or we could solve the problem.
or we could solve the problem together. Yeah. That's another example of how the attitude is different. Today that he would have ran, and called more backup or gotten away from them, or it would be this tension between them. But he's like, you know what? You guys can help. You know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I just love the way Jodie and Rosalita's like, we'll take care of the National Guard. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's an everyday thing.
But even that little small bit jumping into the wagon, and Rosalie, what are we doing? We're going to go and get Al Blanco to chase us. And she's like, way to go. It's so clever with the dialogue, you know what I mean? That's like just a throwaway scene, blinking you miss it, but you just get the whole feeling of, right, okay, they're on a mission.
Right, exactly.
And then over the radio, oh no, El Blanco has moved himself across the road, and you know how stubborn he is. Oh no, this entire column of soldiers can't get past us. Oh boo hoo hoo. You're just like, why couldn't she have been in Tremors 3? That wee actress is brilliant.
Yeah, that's sure for sure. Yeah.
So you're saying, but yeah, then we get into the MacGyver episode or the A-Team episode. Oh, everything's in a barn that we need.
Yeah, that was great.
That's 2 episodes in a row, you know what I mean? I'm just waiting for the combine harvester to come out with the combine harvester with all the bolts up against it, and all the silly things they did.
I like that that's become a staple, of that they have to just work with what they have. I mean, they're used to doing that in that town anyway. Like if they need a part for a toilet, like they can't drive 5 hours, to go get something. They have to jury rig it with something that they could find. So I like that that's become like a running theme of working with what you have, survivalist. So it's fun. It's fun, but it's also makes sense for the community and the location that they're.
And then there's a bit as well, because they're coming around to Bert's idea of being prepared, but they're also bringing Bert around to the idea of you can engage with the modern world as well. You can have both worlds and look after your finances, and everything's not,
that. Yeah, Levi just hit it. I was trying to think of the exact line. Do what you can with what you got. I love it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just once again, it's the whole, oh, here's a fun thing to solve the problem, and then
Yeah.
that's not going to work. I know what we could do next, and wire it all up the truck, and it was just, you knew it was going to work, and it was going to be a wee bit of drama because when you see the bar, and you know how much is left in the episode too. You know it's going to have to wrap up,
Exactly.
but you don't mind because
No, it's fun. Yeah.
okay, how do you deal with a spore that's hydrophilic and just drains you? Oh, just vacuum it up.
Makes
You know
sense.
what I mean? Why not?
And another great
Actively,
use
it's
for
a Tremors ghost trap. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, exactly. From Ghostbusters. And it's another great use of duct tape.
Yep.
So
Do you ever see the engineering chart?
no.
Okay, engineering chart. Does it move? Yes. Should it move? Yes. No problem. No. Duct tape. Does it
Duct
move? No. Should it move? No. No problem. Should it move? Yes. Down. WD-40. You know what I
duct-
mean?
That's awesome. That's great.
So that's well, that and the Nicolas Cage Venn diagram are my two favorite memes of all time. Like that's why memes are invented for those things.
Yeah, yeah. That's the best part of the internet.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I just love this whole thing, the town coming together, not even questioning each other. They're that tuned in now with dealing with all this stuff that you get to see it, and that's what you want to do.
yeah,
You don't want them fighting and bickering and arguing. You just want to see them solve the problem in the inventive way. That's why MacGyver TV series ran for so long. Because that was all he was doing was just building stuff,
yeah. Problem
solving
solving.
problems. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why police procedurals last so long because it's problem. Solving crimes is problem solving.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, obviously with police procedure, a bit of a drama, a bit more drama on it, but there's feel good ones as well. What was it? Like the Duke's Father that ran for ages, but that was always the Duke brothers trying to out with the sheriff, and what was the latest plan? The sheriff had to catch them from the moonshine operation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's these types of stories. There's nothing wrong with using the tried and tested formula. The trick is just to give it a fresh outlook and have good characters that you don't mind.
And a fresh problem. And I think the Mixmaster really lends itself to that.
Yeah, because eventually there's going to be a Graboid that eats some Mixmaster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what they're setting you up for.
Right. Although I think it's already made from Mixmaster.
Well, it's only cliche. It's only cliche if it's done badly. You know what I mean? That's the thing when it's so obvious and but that that's when it's a cliche, but there's nothing wrong with a tried and tested formula.
Yeah.
But it's up to you, you know what I mean? Same as cooking. All the ingredients, you know what I mean? An onion's still an onion. But it's what you do with it.
Yeah.
And it's all the different you know what I mean? That's how you get new recipes and so forth. It's just the different techniques. And
This
that's
is
the same as storytelling, just you throw a wee bit of extra flavor in.
this is an example of why Colin is such a good host, because he knows who his co-star is on these videos, and he uses a lot of food metaphors, like the Burger King one and now recipe.
Yeah.
But Colin's a good host. He knows who his partner is on this one.
It's all good. But yeah, these are just so much fun. It's such a joy to do these. It really is.
This is great. I'm glad we have 7 more, because I'm gonna be sad when these are done.
Yeah, it's going to be bittersweet
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
honestly, what a bunch of morons! Like this is killing the golden goose, isn't it? This is the classic tale of killing the golden goose. These freaking studios,
Yeah.
and they'll greenlight 10 tons of shit that's never going to get past the season.
Yeah.
Sure, friggin' Netflix is notorious for it. They dick about when they get a season that's popular, they'll make you wait 5 years between season 2 and then lose all momentum. But they'll greenlight 10 shitty shows that they have to cancel halfway through because nobody watches.
Yeah. This deserved a longer run for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. But unfortunately the time's passed now with this iteration.
Yeah.
What a waste.
Yeah.
God, there was so much. I think they could have got Kevin Bacon back at some point.
Well, I mean, he tried. He was on the pilot for 2018. Oh, you mean back in
On the
2003?
TV show?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what his mindset was at the time. I think
No, but I
he's
mean, it just, once again, this is
yeah,
only one season. It was a throwaway season because it didn't go any further. But if this had have built up in steam, built up, there
yeah,
was always the opportunities. Bronte could have come back. Earl could have come back. They could have, I mean, they could have had visits. And that's not every week. Once a
right.
season, somebody come in just to freshen it up a bit.
100%. Or they could have had an outbreak of ass blasters somewhere else, so they have to travel one episode to try to solve. I mean, there's like
Because they've already done that. You know what I mean? They've shown that that's the thing.
yeah, they did that with the
Cletus,
Shriekers.
Tweaker,
Yeah.
Twizel, Tweaker, fuck's sake. Twizel gets a call from someone
Twizel,
else
yeah,
because this is the Graboid Central, you know what I mean? This is the
yeah,
hub of expertise. Why not?
yeah, yeah.
And there's the buddy, him and Travis, God's sake, there's the friggin' buddy system that they've been trying to replicate for 6 movies and arson up.
Yes.
You bastards.
Yeah. They
Look
finally
how
got it.
naturally, like, even when Travis has the wee pistol, and it really is mine's bigger than yours scene,
Oh yeah, I meant to talk to you about that. Is it Travis or Tyler? I think Travis was the
Tyler, I
son.
keep mixing,
Tyler,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Tyler,
They're
sorry.
they're interchangeable. They
This
should have
should
been.
have just
Should
been
have been the same.
this should have been the same
Yeah.
character.
But that you're right. I meant to bring that up. I'm glad you said that. I thought that was the funniest thing in both episodes was the two guns, and they don't overdo it, but they just look at each other and they just have like a look like, oh, your gun's bigger than mine. It was so funny. Tyler and Bert. Yeah, the best
Yeah,
duo
they
outside
had
of
it.
Val and Earl.
They
Yeah.
absolutely had it here. All I
Yeah.
have to do is carry that into the movie. They had it carried this. Here's the TV show in the middle. Carried into the episode 5 or part 5. Job done.
Yeah.
What a bunch of morons.
I know.
And this was even, they hadn't even done Tremors 4 then, so they had this already.
I know. It's true.
I think we'll just do an episode, and that's all I'm going to do for it. We'll just an hour and a half me going, and I'll just say everything I need to about what these arseholes did.
Yeah.
But there we go. There's another review done. Thanks for going on, buddy, as always. These are so much.
Fun.
Levi and everyone else that are watching who didn't join in the chat.
Yes.
Everyone else is watching. You can join in on the platform that you're on. You lurkers, I can see you that you're lurking. You can say hello. It's okay. It'll pop up. And we'll be glad to have you.
Yeah. Thank you, Levi. I appreciate you being in the chat.
Absolutely. And yeah, we do know how you feel, buddy. It is going to be bittersweet when we get to the end of this, but I'm enjoying the journey so far. But
me too.
We will be back without a doubt. So just season to say, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things, and until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.